Hi everyone and welcome back to SunBurst Tarot, where today we're going to be doing a reading on Benjamin Franklin and the conspiracy theory of was he a man that liked to take a lot of people out and take them off to the other side. So we're going to take a look because there's what was it? Benjamin Franklin's home, when they were looking at it, they found a ton of bodies, actually, like bunch of skeletons, actually under the floorboards and just such in the home. So I want to take a look. What was going on? Was he a big serial K? Or was he maybe something else? Or is it just allegedly the place was also a hospital? So I want to just take a look. Was he or was he not? So let's take a look. But quick reminder, remember everything I'm saying is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only. No facts here, all just my opinion, psychic downloads, and the such. So if you want to use what I'm saying to help form your own thoughts, opinions, and conclusions, please do so. If you don't want to, you don't have to. So without further ado, let's take a look into the Big Ben Franklin and see what's kind of going on with him. And such. So we'll get the general energy around him and maybe his alleged connection with bodies underneath his house. So we have the Strength card reversed. Self-doubt, weakness, insecurity, emotional struggle, and pride. Why is this? The Chariot, because I want to leave, I want to move, I want to bring forward progress into this world. Or financial influence here. I want to have all the money. I want to have all the resources. I want to be the big man, the king on top. Hopes and fears here. I want to put out smoke and mirrors. I want to lie to people. I want to tell them what they want to hear, not what is actually going on. Unseen obstacles, the Page of Pentacles, my quest for money, my quest for new projects, my quest for new things. It's like there was almost like an obsession with finding out new things. He was obsessed with it. The unseen obstacles here is the Queen of Wands reversed. Introverted, jealous, insecure. Doesn't have a lot of self-confidence either, it looks like, and or feels like. What was going from, though, he was able to balance out the different sides to him. Looking at Mr. Ben Franklin here, just like as a general energy almost, because here in the past, the Judgment, yeah, I want to stay away out of public scrutiny, out of the public eye, and here in the future, I want to keep things close to my chest. Just looking here for Mr. Ben K. Mr. Ben Franklin. He's someone who is a very deeply insecure person who is driven by the material things in life in his drive for finding things out. It's almost like what I get is he deemed his value from what he could provide and what he could make. It's like that's where he derived his value from. Because it doesn't seem like he has a very high... He doesn't feel very highly about himself from like an emotional sense or even a look sense. It's very much coming from what I can make and what I can do is where my value and my worth is derived. So if I can't make you happy, well, he can very emotionally, not a very emotionally intelligent person, but almost like his love language is giving gifts and making things for people, and access service was like his way of doing things, if there would be a way of doing things. And like that's how he had all of the relationships in his life, where he had a ton of like, he was able to put a mask on, but like he was not able to really deep inside. He was a very deeply insecure person of what he could and could not control, and even that about himself. And it's like, I want to keep this away from people and I want to hoard what I can, my knowledge, my people, what my thoughts are, and my feelings and my insecurities. So, like, was he also, like, I don't know too much about the man. I feel also get here, he's a majorly, how do I put this? very derived by money, money motivated on things. Does he have like really strong placements in like Capricorn? Because it's getting me like he's very money motivated. You pay him money, he will do things. And there's not much he wouldn't do for some cash. So I'm gonna take a look, and that's just his general energy. So looking at it, then, is he a big serial K? Let's take a look. I want to take a look. Is there any funny business going on with what's his connection between him and the bodies that they found in the basement, or the basement, or in the location of his home? What was that connection between the two of them? Let's take a look. What was that connection like? So, what was the connection between Mr. Ben Franklin and the bodies that were found in his abode? What was that connection? Past resentments, desire to reconcile, making amends, desire to forgive. Huh. I also see this as a lose-lose situation. It's like, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. Why is this? Because it was lost opportunities, missed chances, bad investments, lack of planning and foresight. From a financial influence, I made bad choices. Hopes and fears here. I wanted to be able to do something new. I wanted to give proposals. I want to follow my heart and have people near me, and this is weird. Unseen obstacles. Painful endings. Ba-da-boo-boo. Partying, celebrations is kind of the challenge. Oh, dear God. I worked really, really hard at this, is what was going for me here in the past. Lots of deceit and deception to bring people in. And here in the future, disharmony, misalignment, working alone, lack of teamwork, disorganized group conflict in the future. So Mr. Ben, and then we'll look at Ben. The death, he's the bringer of death and the bodies. What this is telling me, so looking to set the connection between Mr. Ben and all of these lovely bodies that were found, I would say he might have had something to do with it. Just looking at the cards, because it's like, yeah, you're in a lose-lose situation. It was a bad investment on my part. I did things pretty naively and pretty dumb. I tried offering them a different way out. I also could be seeing as these people might have been poisoned, because with the cup, it's like, I'm going to give you some I'm going to give you this cup and you can drink from it. And then everything kind of went downhill from there, because we were having a grand old time and partying. And you know what? We're going to have a painful ending here, because you weren't doing what I want you to do. I've worked really hard at being able to do this. I'm going to lie my way to get you through the door. And then here in the future, well, we just didn't work out the way we were supposed to. Ben showing up as the death card, being like, I'm going to bring about death, transformation, and blah, blah, blah. And over here, it's like the people that he brought in, these bodies, per se, tried to fight back, but they were kind of subdued from maybe some poison. Allegedly, conspiracy, whatever. I just read cards. Leave me alone. I just read cards. So, okay, so if that's the thing, if Mr. Ben Franklin was doing some downright nasty things, why was this? What was his motivations for this? Why was he bringing people in and take them off to the other side? I have questions. Because that was pretty straightforward. Yeah, he was very much connected with those dead bodies, allegedly, in my opinion. So, let's take a look. Why? What was the motivation here? Was he like, I need to do this for science? Or was it just like a thing where he kind of just snapped? So, let's take a look. What was this all about? Why? What was the motivation here behind it? This is something that he did very much alone, the hermit. It's like I was isolated. I was isolated with my own thoughts and my feelings. 'Cause this is almost like, it's like he had to work himself up to like a state of like, he would get overwhelmed or things going on. And like, I'm paranoid. I can't work. I've got to do this. It's almost like he gets an itch underneath his skin. that he's very much committed to. What I get from, okay, hopes and fears. It's like the Knight of Swords. It's like I get to do this burst of energy, let it all out, let these things go. However, he planted them in his backyard. It's like I had to plant them somewhere. I had to put these somewhere. I had to bury them to let them do whatever they needed to do. This is almost giving me like he snapped. It's like he would get this itch underneath his skin, and then he would have to like build himself up to get rid of the itch of whatever he needed to do. And this all kind of stems from needing to control situations. I forget if he was married, and if he was, and if I think he was married, and he married a girl who was much younger than him, if I'm not mistaken. And this is what it kind of feels like. It's almost like he would get the itch for this. He married his wife. Him and his wife would then maybe argue, bicker, do. He would get the itch of like, I want to do something. It was like, I can't do that to my wife, so I go out and I do it to someone else that maybe looks similar to the wife or the such. So it's like I don't take it out on her, but I take it out on people around me, or I take it out onto strangers. Because what was going for him, the Page of Wands upright, which is inspiration, ideas, discovery, potential, exploration, freedom, excitement. Again, he gets, why did he do it? It gave him a thrill. I think it also just gave him an outlet for his aggressions, his anger, his passions. As here in the past, if I'm not mistaken, he immigrated to the United States, correct? And he didn't always live in the United States. It feels like he did. This is something that was a lifelong thing of his. If I'm not mistaken, he was in Paris or France, if I'm not mistaken, and it feels like he did that over there, and he brought this same pattern to America, in my opinion. And then here in the future, yeah, he got everything that he wanted. His wishes were granted, and the such, he got away with things. He felt like he had emotional control, emotional stability when he did this. That's why he did it. It brought him emotional control and stability, and he'd been doing this forever. It might have started off with like small animals and just worked its way up. But this is something he always did to self-regulate himself and his emotions in things around him. Weird. I know. Okay. So, that's the motive. That's the people's. I'm going to take one more look here. And I'm going to look at, did he feel any remorse for what he did? I don't know. I just want to take a look at it. I want to take a look at it in the sense of, you know what? Here's what we're actually going to look at. We're going to look at during the time that this was going on and he was alive, kicking and doing all of his things. Was this actually suspected of him and it's just been hidden from the history books? Or was this something that he was just so smart and so good that he was just never caught? Or, yeah. So I want to take a look. I want to see if this was something that was always suspected of him, but just omitted from the history books. So let's take a look at how did the people around him, like did the people around him suspect him of being the big serial gay? So let's take a look. This I'm curious about. The people around him, did they expect it? Exhaustion, burnout, contemplation, stagnation, restlessness, stress. Why is this? The Ace of Cups. Propose. This was a rumor that did fly around, in my opinion. Or everyone thought there was a weird attraction that he had to certain people. Or he always had a weird fascination with people that were like dead or had passed on or the such. He had this really weird fascination that people were kind of like weirded out by. Because from a financial influence here, it's like, because from a material financial aspect, it's like he didn't have motivation. This is weird. So what I get from this is, again, there's a weird fascination or a weird detachment that people that people around him didn't understand. Because I think people liked him for the most part. However, there was like always these circulating rumors that it's like, oh, he's around this person. Oh, he just looks like he just doesn't care. Like he doesn't have that spark. He's just like a kind of a dull nobody. If people would like, if you would ask, if you probably would, he was like, he just seemed like a dull nobody. Very intelligent, but just dull. It's like he didn't have a lot going for him. It's like he didn't feel or look like he was impassioned by what he was doing on the outside. Because he was a very unconventional person at that time. Had unconventional lifestyle, unconventional ways of doing things. And so, like, as he was doing all these things very unconventionally, it brought a lot of scrutiny about him and rumors at that time. Also, there was a lot of his home. I don't know if there was a lot of people allowed there. And I think there was a lot of, like, contemplation, rumors of like, oh, were you invited over? Oh, I've never heard of anyone being invited over to his house. Like, oh my gosh, did you hear that she went over there? Like, I saw a new person go there, but you know what? Maybe it's just a rumor, but like, I've never heard of anyone who went over there and left. Like, no one can ever tell you what the inside of his house looks like. Like, and that's kind of the feeling I get here. It's like there was also a lot of talk about his marriage at that time, celebration, unions, and the such. People would just say he was a very weird person, is what I'm kind of getting. And even also, did he move? Because it's like there's some sort of move here, or like when he came over from, I think, from Europe over to the United States, there's some sort of like item or eccentric item that he brought with him that had a lot of people talking. And I'm not sure what this is, but it's like I see it as like he brought something over with him from Europe to the New World that people talked about constantly, and that people were very weirded out by, like, why would you bring that with? Because also the person that he married, like, didn't talk bad about him, but actually wasn't that connected to him either. So what was going for him is that, like, him and his wife, or person that he was seeing, like, they were really disconnected. And like people always just focused on that part of the relationship, or like talked about that part of like their dynamic, instead of looking at what was maybe going on behind the scenes. Why were people disappearing? Why did no one know what the inside of their home looked like? Why? It was always, oh, did you hear about their relationship, or did you see that they came out together and they went to church for the first time in like a month? Scandalous. And that's kind of what people talked about, and that was like a distraction or a ruse. Everyone talked about their relationship or their marriage rather than the missing people that never seemed to come out from that place alive. Because here in the past, it's like people were really overwhelmed with everything that came out about that was going on there. Again, people were more focused on that relationship than they were about the people that went over and never left. And then here in the future, the Empress. Did he actually end up having kids? Because I think if not, there was also a focus on, oh, they would never get pregnant. Oh, she's never gonna have kids. Like, again, people were so focused on their relationship and what some would call maybe the outputs of what a marriage should have, rather than the focal point of Ben Franklin, is what I'm kind of seeing of what was maybe the timeline or things going on at that point in time. So that's what I'm seeing here for Ben Franklin, and apparently all those bodies that were down there. So if y'all enjoyed this, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your own thoughts, opinions, and ideas down below in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. Otherwise, if you want to leave an emoji, leave a skull or some bones. That would be kind of cool. So otherwise, thank you all again so much for watching. If you want to join YouTube members to see videos like this early, feel free. $3 a month. You get access to member lives, exclusive content, member content like this early, and to such. So thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. So bye!